All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on the topic of low-cost automation and Karakuri. The time is 1 minute past 10, but we'll just give it a few more minutes to allow everybody to enter the meeting. Right, I think, I think we can get started. Let's see. Yep, I think in total we should be about 40 participants today that we've seen. And looking at the participants list, I'm very happy to see that we have some. It's a variety of different experiences from many different companies. So we're very welcome to this 1 hour session together with us at Virtual Manufacturing on the topic of low-cost automation and Karakuri. We have a packed agenda for you. So I will kick off this webinar with a bit of an introduction, and then we have two speakers that will take over after that. The session will be recorded, so for those of you that want to share this, we will send out a link to the recording afterwards. If you do have questions, please use the chat. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the webinar also, where you have a chance to ask some questions. Great. Well, with that said, welcome to this webinar. My name is Daniel Wigren. I'm the head of sales and marketing for the company Virtual Manufacturing. Some of you probably know me from before. I'm very excited that there are so many participants with us today. I hope you can see my screen. Thumbs up from somebody. Yes, we can see the technology is working with us. So let's kick it off. Wonderful, wonderful. So the topic of today is low-cost automation with Karakuri and lean manufacturing equipment. With us today we have two speakers. Our very own Anna Andersson, who has been working as a senior designer of this type of equipment for many years now. She will give us sort of the journey, where it started, where we are now, and probably share a whole lot of experience from different projects and customers and cases that we've worked upon. And we also have our friend Jens Walter, who's the CTO for the BeeWaTec company down in Germany. Lean expert that has worked many years in this area. He will also give his view on, what is Karakuri and what is the actual value of it. Before we kick it off, or before I hand over to Anna, I just want to share a few words. You can see it as wise words or recommendations, or you can see it as whatever you want. But these are just a one-pager on some of the things that I've personally learned during the years that I've been involved. First of all, what is Karakuri? If we look at the definition of Karakuri, it's actually a Japanese term that refers to lean methodology involving simple mechanical material handling devices that rely on gravity and inertia to move a product across a facility. To make it even more simple, what we're actually trying to do is to take a product or article and move it from place A to place B with its own weight and gravity. In other words, we're trying to not use pneumatics, electronics, or electricity in any way, shape, or form. We're actually only using the weight of the article and the gravity. The movements that we're talking about, of course, they could be circular, they could be horizontal, or they could be vertical. And this is sort of the challenge with Karakuri. Let's not forget that, as so many other things, Karakuri is it's a process. And I think the key message that I'm trying to postpone here is that, start simple, learn from your mistakes, because we will make mistakes. It's like always in a process. You always make mistakes initially, but then you successively evolve. Some wise words. Let's not forget that this is the same as always. It's very difficult to keep things simple. It's easy to over-engineer things. In other words, it's easy to make things more complex than they need to be. Building the actual construction part of it, or the manufacturing part, in other words, building or manufacturing the actual equipment, is usually very, very simple. It's about cutting. It's about some bolts that have to be tightened and so on. But the key thing here is that building the equipment is easy once you know what to build or manufacture. Before you get to what it is that you have to build, you have to understand, you have to see, you have to probably develop something. And that could be done in many different ways, and it could take a whole lot difference when it comes to time. If you need help and support, ask for it. There's a lot of experience out there. It is a philosophy that initially comes from Japan, from Toyota. So but there are a lot of both on a European basis up here in the Nordics and Sweden. There are a lot of companies that have a lot of experience in it. So if you need support and help, reach out. And let's not forget some of the basics behind Karakuri, or this type of equipment. I put the point here: all equipment requires maintenance. In other words, just because we're working with Karakuri, it's no hocus pocus. Karakuri, like any other type of equipment, needs maintenance. And with that said, it is important that we actually take care of the equipment once it has been designed and once it's been manufactured and assembled and actually working or running in production. Making it right the first time is difficult. All things can be improved. What I'm trying to say with that point is that I think it's important that you start somewhere, and then you have the mental philosophy that all things can actually be improved. Making it 100% perfect the first time is very difficult. When I look at some of the journeys that probably some of you that are participating in the webinar today have been on, we can see that over the years you have evolved a lot. But trying to be up here from the very, very beginning is difficult. In other words, it is a learning process, and you learn by making mistakes. Culture is my final bullet of the wise words. And here, what I mean by this is that, depending on where you're placed in the world, depending on what types of different cultures or backgrounds you're from, we can see that due to the fact that we do live in different cultures and have different cultures, we also handle our equipment in different ways. So I think here in the Western world, when I look at the Nordics or even parts of Germany, and of course this differs a lot depending on which industry you're working in, whether you're in automotive or other industries. But I think the message here is that think about the culture that you have. Think about how your operators are working together with the equipment and how they're actually handling the equipment and treating the equipment. And the reason why I'm saying this is that if the right culture is not in place, then the maintenance of equipment will be needed. You will need more maintenance. And I think these were just a few bullets or a few wise words from my side. I hope maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. I hope you will find the next couple of minutes or half an hour interesting. With that said, I will hand over the word to my friend Anna, who will continue to share some of the experience that she has built up during the years.
Yeah, so I will just make everything work with me. So yeah, I will talk a little bit from start to finish, the work I do as a designer and how it can look. So we always try to I mean, we start with the first contact. That could be an email or a call. From that, we get some information. It could be a lot of information or just a picture. But we try to do a concept. We do a concept, and then we have a meeting with you and try to go through the concept to see if we have understood it right. And sometimes we need to go back again and do a new concept and have more of a meeting. And sometimes we get stuck in this like concept meeting loop, and I will get back to that, why it could be good to do that. But as soon as you are happy with the design, we do a final design, and the salesman takes over and we do a quote for you. So the information from the customer can be very different. Sometimes we have a customer who builds a lot themselves, and then we will get some information, more like pictures from them, but also it could be someone who have never done it before, and then we get a sketch on a paper. But everything works. And then we have bigger companies, then we have maybe bigger projects also, then it's like 50 wagons, and then we get a request of quotation. And then it's a lot of information, but you can't, I mean, you can, but for simple wagons or just one wagon, it's maybe not the way to go. So sometimes just a paper or a PowerPoint sketch. But from this, we could also see, if we take this one, when we have levels, it could be if you have sensitive parts on them. Do we need to have some foam or something? From this one, it could be if you need a return flow, or how much is the part sticking up from the box. And if we would get this, we might ask how the wagon will be handled, how far will you walk with it, how will you walk with it. And from this, we could do flow racks and wagons. So from here, where you just had the box, we did a return flow, a smaller box, and also a toolbar. And for just the paper sketch, we did some planes with materials that won't be scratching your parts. And here we have the PowerPoint wagon with now 6 wheels and some docking mechanism. So it could be very different. And this is what we're going to see when we have a meeting to try to understand the in-data we will get. But some questions that we always need is if you have a step file on the part that will be handled, because sometimes we do pallets and then it's very, it's very critical to see where we could have the support, and also how much it weighs, because we need to be able to make sure that the wagons or flow rack won't fall apart. And also one big thing that you might miss is the footprint in the factory that the wagon or flow rack can take, and also how the workflow looks. And the most important that I think people forget is to talk with the person that actually is going to use it. Because if you sit on the office, it might be hard to understand how it actually is to work with the parts down in the factory. And also, so a little thing that we sometimes get is that we just get a call and they say, we need a workstation. But a workstation can look very different. So then we might ask, do you need it high adjustable? Do you need a toolbar on it? Do you want to be able to move it around? So you want to have wheels on it? How much workspace do you need? Do you want any boxes on it? So for us, a workstation could look something like this. So you have the adjustable, and it could be a pillar or a table that we build something on. lifting pillars or more simple, not normal, but easier rack. So just to say, I want a workstation, then we get to the design and meetings loops and work forward a solution that will fit you. And sometimes we want a simple wagon to handle a Euro pallet. And I mean, there's a lot of suppliers that can help with that. But we want to ask, how do you want to pick? Do you want to pick it in a higher up, so you have a more ergonomic level? Do you want to be able to roll it over to a conveyor by using your hand and use the handle here? And here is a more simple wagon, but it also have plates here in the bottom because we're going to put it up on an E-frame. So a pallet wagon can look very different depending on what you're going to use it. And then sometimes a customer say, we want to deliver this product from A to B, but there's a problem. And most times the but is the layout, at least what I have seen. So for example, here we have a customer who said that we just have this space and we need to have this amount of pallets and products, but we have a pedal in the middle. So we can't just like do a straight flow. So we need to do a U shape. And it works and it's no problem, but you just have to think about it. And also I would say one of the most complicated solutions that we have made is this one, where a customer needed a lot of buffer because from A to B it's not so far away, but we couldn't have all the buffer and we couldn't have the whole return flow, and also a pillar in the middle. So here we had to do a flow where you loaded the pallets, they moved down, and when they come here, the operator push down, so it will come forward, they pick the parts, and then it will go to the return flow again. And then the loop keep on going. And then also we have one that I think it's pretty fun, that we want a wagon with multiple loading levels. And that I know can look very different. And here is what we did. And also for this one, it's a little bit more specified. So the product will lay on top of here using the fixtures. And we started with this, but then we realized that the fixture must look on a different way. And we don't want the board here. So then we got to this. But then also we wanted to make some changes. So then we went to another concept. And then the customer started using this wagon, and I don't know if it was 2 or 3 years they were using it. And then they got a new product that's bigger. So then they wanted to rebuild the wagon, because that's the good thing. This is just screw and joint, so you can rebuild it if you want. So then we did this solution that we can see here with foldable arms. And we tried it and it didn't really work the way we wanted. So then we got to this concept that we have here. And also for these ones, you could see if I have my mouse over that we have some links. And that's also what you get when we have the meetings with you. You will get what we call Fusion link. And in here, you can move around and see the wagon that we have made and the solution. And also for these ones, when we have a little more movable stuff, we could also make a movie that you can see. So you get to see how the arms will move, and it will be easier to explain it internal also for the people that are going to use it. So here is the first concept. And then just to show, we have the movable arms here. And what is good, if we would have the product here, we could stop the movie, we can zoom in and move it around and see how the arms will fold on the product. And you could also take measurements in here to see and control that we have done what you asked for. And here we have the final. And it's small differences. It's pretty easy, pretty similar from the first one with the foldable arms. But here we have fixed steps and also a plate so the part won't get in here. And this is what we do when we get to the meeting loops. We will bring up the concept, look around on it, talk about it, ask questions, put in the product, put in the lifting tool to just make sure that we have thought about everything before we start building it. So yeah, with that said, it's a little bit of explanation on how we work and the work I do as a designer.
Well, wonderful. Thank you very much, Anna, for that presentation and sharing your experiences on the actual process of getting to where something is actually placed on the production floor. With that said, there are some questions that have popped up. We'll try to summarize the questions at the end here and try to answer the questions as to the best of our extent. But with that said, I'll leave the floor or the word over to you, Jens. Maybe you can just quickly introduce yourself and then take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Welcome to the presentation of Karakuri solutions and their implementations. My name is Jens Walter. I'm the CTO at the BeeWaTec company. So we started 2006 with the BeeWaTec in Germany, and I'm the responsible for the technical part. And that's the introduction to myself. So for the beginning, our slogan at BeeWaTec is "Be lean, use BeeWaTec." So we use pipe rack system for different solutions, what you can see at the moment in the screen, I hope. And so you can build up some trolleys, racks, special trolleys or walking tables, and also other solutions, what we are talking now regarding Karakuri. As Daniel have said at the beginning, Karakuri is not only, okay, you start today, you have a good idea, you make it, or you order the material, and tomorrow you have the Karakuri system and all the automatization system in a flow. So it's a philosophy. And what's Karakuri? It's come from Japanese technologies and means cost-effective and fully mechanical automation. So, and the goal, what we want to reach is to make processes more efficient, ergonomic, and sustainable. So that's behind the Karakuri. And what I want to say at the beginning is, Karakuri is not the solution for everything. So some cases or some problems what customer have is not possible to solve with Karakuri. So in this case, maybe at the end of the presentation, I will also show that we have also implemented electrical parts in the solution, because it's not possible to do it only with Karakuri. What are the requirements for successful implementation of Karakuri is that we have identified that is necessary, that we have all information about the containers, what you have to use to transport the materials, what you have in your company. So And what also necessary is that we have fixed dimensions, yeah, and a fixed weight when it's possible. So of course, it could be possible that we find a solution that you have a spread between the weight and between the dimensions of the boxes, cartons, or whatever. But it's easier to implement Karakuri systems when you have fixed dimensions in the weight in the boxes or the containers. And then it's guaranteed, I want to say, that you have a successful implementation of the Karakuri solutions in generally, yeah, and you have a good throughput of the rates of identical load carriers. So in this case, so yeah, and the worker, yeah, who are working with the Karakuri system are yeah satisfied, yeah, with the system. When it's more complex and the workers on the assembly line or wherever don't understand the mechanical parts or whatever, then it's not he's not satisfied, and yeah, then it's not a good solution. So in this case, of course, you can optimize it. So that's also the part of the philosophy, that you start with a system, and when you understand the mechanical parts and the automatic points, then you have also the possibility to optimize something. So to show you, yeah, and the customers what Karakuri mean, yeah, is we have built up in the BeeWaTec company some mini Karakuris, it's called. So in the red picture, on the right side, you see a picture with a separation of load carrier system. And I want to show you now the picture, the video, how it works, yeah. Sorry. Huh? Why it's not working? Sorry, one moment. Now it should be work. Yeah, now you can see a easy functionality of Karakuri, yeah, separation of load carriers. And you see in the video, you have the possibility to make it by hand. Yeah, it's also possible to use it with automatic system, automatic guided vehicle, for example. So this is a easy separation system, yeah, for the load carriers. And in this case, the boxes dimensions are, yeah, always the same. So the next one is the transfer of load carriers, yeah, to make shooter functionalities to transport boxes from the logistic to the assembly line or backwards, so that the worker have no so much to do. Yeah, that's also a possible way what we can do. And also we have a video for that to show you the functionality of that. And this mini Karakuri is only to show you what is possible with our system or with Karakuri. So it's simple functionalities at the beginning. Of course, it's possible to make it more complex, yeah, in the future. But for the beginning, it's necessary to make it very easy. So this mechanic shows you a rocker for empty load carriers. So it's meaning also to shoot it or to bring it on the assembly line and to bring it backwards. You can also make a separation of boxes, yeah. And when you can think at the first video what you have seen on the picture, the mechanism is on the bottom side, and now we have the separation system on the top side. So so Karakuri means also you have different possibilities to have the same solution, yeah. In this case, we use the separation system on the top, and maybe on other use cases we have the separation system on the bottom side. So only can you see the separation system. Also, you see on the top, the system goes down to hold the second box backwards, and yeah, the mechanical parts, yeah, on the right side you can make it manually. You can make it automatically with an engine when you like it, or you have different ideas to do the solution. So from the BeeWaTec side, it's also possible to send the mini Karakuri system to the customer, to put it in the car. You drive to the customer, you can show, or you have the possibility to bring it on a booth, yeah, to train the the customer walker, for example, also. Yeah, then we have the lifting units. Yeah, it's also a necessary solution for Karakuri to lift it up in a very easy way. Now there is a lift for load carriers with a crank handle. Yeah. On the second video, we see also another solution to make lifting solutions. And in this case, with the crank handle, you have the possibility to lift it up. Then you have a locking system on one part, for example, and you can change the locking system to put to move the boxes downwards again. So that's all components from BeeWaTec, or you can also order it from virtual side. This is also a lift for a load carrier, another solution, yeah, with a handle and with the brackets. The functionality of the lifting solution is the same. You move it up or downwards, but with other components and because of other thinking of the customer why he uses it like this. Yeah, it's easier to make it with the with this solution than with the crank handle. You have not so move it as fast as possible. So yeah, then some solutions from the use case, what we are doing the production for customer side. So it's the real functionality. The easiest way is to make shooter solutions. You have the possibility to put the components inside of the boxes and outside of the boxes. You can do it like a handle on the right side, on the left side, on the top, what you have seen in the other videos. You have to put it with a spring, for example, and we are thinking every time what is the best solution for the customer. Depends on the requirements what they have. Then we have a second solution. It's like a shooter system, and that's now what I mean to lift it up. Yeah, these boxes, for example, or this lever. It's not possible regarding the weight. To move it up manually by walker. So in this case, we have to use it with a lifting system to lift it up. And now you can see now that we have a shooter system to move the boxes on the rack, for example. So this is also Karakuri. Of course, we have used the electrical part, but in this case, it's not possible to do it only with gravity or other solutions. That's why we have used the electrical lifting. And now I want to show you a use case with an HEV system. The HEV system is VMI, and we have drive-through station. We make the positioning in front of the station, and then we bring for example, the full boxes to the station and pick up the empty boxes and drive away. So, and that's also Karakuri systems, what we have developed. Yeah, we have at the beginning, we have an idea, we have built it up, and then we have tried it several times, and then we have to optimize the system because also for BeeWaTec, it's hard to have an idea, to design it, to build it up, and then everything is working. So that's a vision what we want to reach, but it's not possible because Karakuri is a process and not a fixed solution for everything. So that was different use cases what we have implemented and the requirements for all that. So yeah, thank you for the time. And when you have questions, you can ask.
Wonderful, Jens. Thank you so much for the showcasing some of the cases that you have presented here. And I think what's interesting, I think the message from our side here is that some of these smaller Karakuri solutions, we've also bundled them into some kind of a training package.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are interested in understanding more, maybe some training, you know, how can we improve as a company? How can we start our journey? There is some already prepped material that we can use to actually both design and start to build something that we then potentially can scale into other dimensions or make it more automatic or manual, depending on where we are. I think that's very good. And thank you also, Jens, for showing the breadth of what is actually possible. So I mean,
Yeah.
and I really like the fact that, you know, some industrial companies, manufacturing companies out there today are very focused on manual transports or manual logistics. Yes, that can be incorporated if you want to take this step to becoming a more you know, logistics automation with AMRs or AGVs or AGCs or whatever you want to call them. Of course, there are possibilities there also. But I think the important message is the fact that it is a process, and a process continuously evolves.
Yeah.
So it's not a ready-made solution, but it's something that is developed over time.
Yeah, that's also why we are using the mini Karakuri systems, yeah, to go to the customer, to train the customer employees, yeah, regarding the philosophy, and then they understand it, and then they say, okay, we have different possibilities to make solutions for separation, for example, and then we have in our cases, yeah, our decision to which solution we prefer. And maybe at the beginning you start with the one solution, and at the end you have the other solution because it's better. Yeah. So in this case, so yeah.
Yeah.
So the mini Karakuri system is very interested to understand it. We have to do it with several customers to train it, and yeah, the customers are happy to have some showcases in a smaller way. Yeah, not the big solution. Yeah, at the customer in the factory. So yeah.
And I think it's also a good way to actually, as I mentioned before, to start your journey, and it's a way to actually get acceptance from management also that you know, you want to continuously develop, continuously do something, take the small steps for continuous improvement, which I think is good. So with that said, I think we'll open up the floor. If there are questions, you know, please do not hesitate to put the questions in your chat. As I mentioned before, this session has been recorded. We will share the recording with all of you. If you want to share that with other colleagues, it's perfectly okay. I have received one question here on the side where we're talking about. The question is, how long is the lead time? And it is a very relevant question, and but it is a difficult question to answer, since the lead time is dependent on, as Anna mentioned, what type of data is available in terms of data that we can actually receive to start. And also, I would say that the lead time depends very much also on the maturity level that we're at today. Are you at the beginning of your journey? Our recommendation is always to start simple. Are you have you worked with this type of equipment, this type of technology for several years? Maybe you're sort of challenging yourself to look at more. I'm not going to say complex, but I will say complex. But you're challenging yourself to look at more complex solutions. Then of course the lead time will be a bit longer. And just to follow up on the same question, the lead time. What usually takes time in a Karakuri project is the engineering phase. Once we know what to actually manufacture, it's pretty simple to actually build the equipment and to but doing the thinking, doing the engineering, that is what usually takes time. And also these iterative loops that Anna mentioned in the process. In other words, ensuring that we have an understanding of what it is, what is the function of the equipment. So that's an important one.
I want to add something. Yeah. Of course, the lead time. Yeah. But you don't stop with the solution. Yeah. That's also a big point. You have then a solution on site, for example, and then you have the possibility to optimize it. So you never stop in the process. Yeah. Then it's the best way. So of course, when you want the first solution, it depends on the information. You need time, but at the end, you don't have to stop the process of optimization. Yeah, so that's the philosophy of that. Yeah,
and
only to add it.
Yeah, perfect point, Jens. And I think that comes back a bit to like, making it 100% perfect the first time is always difficult. But with continuous improvements over time, you can always optimize or actually improve the equipment also.
Yeah.
Let's see, do we have any other questions? As mentioned before, please, do not hesitate to reach out if you do have questions, or if something comes up after this session also. We're here to support in any way, shape, or form. If there are no further questions, I want to thank everybody for this session. I hope it was inspiring. One challenge from us to you is to take this information with you, start challenging yourselves, start challenging your own organization. Low-cost automation is here to stay. It is difficult to make it right the first time, but with continuous improvement, you can always improve. So it's another question popped up here. I will just see what that's at. Yep. So another question popped up concerning the importance of actually, how the importance of actually knowing what it is that we want to transfer, or what it is that we want to build a solution for. In other words, what product or what box. And I think this is important when defining the actual system. If we don't know specifications around what article will be transported or what box size, it's very difficult to actually start designing an equipment. So things like measurements of the parts, weights of the parts, and of course, box sizes or pallet sizes or things like that are always very, very important to start the process of designing and actually delivering this type of equipment. Yeah, and one thing also popped up here. So there is, of course, there is the possibility, and we see this happening quite a bit in the industry, especially on the automotive side when it comes to powertrain for engine manufacturing and things like that. We're talking about naked parts. In other words, we want to deliver parts that are not in a box or parts that are not packaged to the operator. Things like single picking point. We want to ensure that the operator actually picks the right part from one place and only one place to make life, to make it as easy as possible for the operator. So yes, it is very much doable to actually work with naked parts also. If you have those types of needs, you can actually deliver or design types of pallets where you're actually kitting the naked parts, maybe in a warehouse, and then delivering them to the assembly line, doing the shooting and presenting the naked parts to the operator, such that the operator can pick the part in one place at one time and actually do the assembly step. So that's a good point also. So that's good. Okay, wonderful. If there are no further questions, let's. I hope it was informative. As I've said before, we will share all this information. If there are further questions, please do not reach out, or please do reach out and get in contact with us, and we will do our best to support. With that, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and let's keep in touch.